Welcome to our short historical walk along Tanner Row in York. We are starting right outside the Hampton by Hilton, York, and heading toward Rougier Street. This short walk takes us through a street whose entire identity has shifted from one of the city's smelliest trades to one of its most modern transport and hospitality hubs. Knows a stroll through the medieval past. The name Tanner Row tells you everything you need to know about this street's medieval purpose. Tanner refers to the leather makers, and the street was officially recorded in 1524 as Barker Row, which also means Tanner's Row. Tanners used bark, specifically oak bark, to process animal hides into leather. Tanning was an incredibly noxious and smelly trade, requiring large amounts of water and often being located near the river, which is right nearby. You can imagine the odors that would have been constant here, a mix of animal waste, chemicals, and the drying hides. As we walk, look at the narrowness of the street. Although some buildings are modern, the plot lines still reflect the original medieval and later Georgian development. House with flower lost buildings and industrial change. This area has undergone massive transformation, particularly with the arrival of the railway in the 19th century. Right near where we are now, a very different kind of building once stood, Lady Hewley's almshouses, built around 1700. These were charitable houses, which was sadly demolished to make way for the city's first railway station in 1841. This act of demolition and rebuilding perfectly symbolizes the transition from philanthropic care and old market structures to the demands of the industrial age. The architecture here today is a mix. We have modern structures like the hotel we just left, but keep an eye out for places like 1 Tanner Row on the corner of North Street. This is a rare example of a late 15th century Weldon Hall house design, a type of construction rare for York. It has been modified over the centuries, but its timber frame still holds that deep history. Place setting hash the modern hub and the crossroads. We are now approaching the end of Tanner Row, where it meets the large intersection with Rougier Street and George Hudson Street. This junction is a major transport nexus for modern York, often associated with bus routes and traffic. The commercial identity has shifted entirely to hospitality and finance. You are standing near what were once important coaching inns and pubs, such as the former The Grapes public house at 39 Tanner Row, which is now a restaurant. The area is also close to major contemporary buildings like the Aviva offices and the Grand Hotel and Spa, which was once a massive railway headquarters. The transition to Rougier Street marks the point where the narrow, working medieval lane opens into the wide, planned transport corridor of a modern city center. We've walked through centuries of urban change, from the smell of hides to the bustle of modern traffic. Unlike the narrow lanes we just left, Rougier Street is noticeably wide and straight. This isn't a medieval street. This width is a deliberate choice made in the 19th century. It was designed to accommodate the heavy traffic and infrastructure associated with the arrival of the railway. It's a modern road built for the industrial age. Look at the large buildings on our left. The most imposing example is the Grand Hotel and Spa. This magnificent structure wasn't originally a luxury hotel. It was built as the headquarters for the Northeastern Railway Company, one of the richest and most powerful railway companies in the country. Its size and opulence were meant to convey the power and wealth of the Victorian railway industry. Bridge at night, the Lost Bridge, and river proximity. We are extremely close to the River Ouse here. The history of this location is defined by the river and the bridges that crossed it. This area used to be adjacent to the North Street Bridge, a vital crossing point. Today, Rougier Street and the massive structures here reflect the dominance of rail over water transport. The street had to be elevated and widened to deal with the demands of the traffic flowing to and from the great railway station. Office building, modern business, and transport hub. As we continue, notice the blend of architecture. We have modern commercial buildings mixed with those monumental Victorian structures. This area now functions as a major bus and taxi hub for the city. It's the essential point where city center traffic meets the railway station. We are walking past modern offices, perhaps an insurance or financial services building. The area is a nexus of contemporary business, drawing on the superb transport links provided by the railway.